Statesman Nation. We're here with Coach John Henry as we preview the 2017-2018 men's basketball season. Coach, appreciate you coming in for a little bit. You got your roster, so you're ready.
I'm ready.
He's prepared. So let's, like we always do, we'll talk about last year and then we'll talk about this year. But first off, a year ago, you guys had another tremendous run. Ended up a little bit short of the end goal of the national title. I know that probably still stings to talk about it that way, but
Yeah.
but either way, just an awesome year. If you want to recap that, and we can go into talking about this year.
Obviously, going 33-4 and reaching the Final Four, winning our second regular season title back-to-back years, and our second conference tournament title back-to-back years. It was just an amazing dream come true year.
Yeah.
However, we had lofty goals,
Yeah.
and our final goal, first goal was to win the regular season, didn't win the conference title, go to the Final Four, but we wanted to win it all.
Right.
And blowing a 16-point lead with 14 minutes to go to get to overtime and then lose it at the buzzer the way we did was hard.
Yeah.
And I still, no offense to Texas Wesleyan, but I still feel as though we were the best team in the country last year. But sometimes in college basketball, the best teams don't always win.
Right.
It's normally the way the ball bounces and who's playing the best down that particular day.
Exactly.
So, but you can't complain about getting to the Final Four and doing the things that we did. And we had some phenomenal seniors that have already gone on to do some great things, and a few of them are playing for money professionally, and a lot of graduates, and getting ready for this year.
Yeah. It's as you said, a lot of guys that were very integral to helping you get to that 33-win season. They're gone now, and obviously recruiting was a big deal. It wasn't just like, oh, we're just gonna, just have to fill up a few spots. There was a lot of individuals that have to be replaced. So recruiting was a big deal. I know you guys basically just scour the earth and find them and track them down. Obviously, that's become a little bit easier over the years, I would hope. Setting the bar high for all the success, and kids want to come here and play for this program.
It is a little bit easier, and one of the main reasons is Blake Sandquist is so good at it.
Yeah.
Him and Coach Wyatt, Justin Wyatt, and a few other guys sprinkled in there, but those are the two main guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're phenomenal recruiters, and I'm just very blessed to have them, and they did another great job this year. And it actually starts. Our next year's recruiting actually starts the previous year.
Right, yeah.
We like to bring a couple of kids in and redshirt them, so that way they're ready to rock and roll as soon as they become eligible, and that's what we did this year.
Definitely.
Three of our main cogs from this year were actually here all of last year. So
right. However you want to break it down, however you want to talk about returners first, then new guys, or by position.
Returners. Are leading the way in returning to be Corbin Medley, Brandon Trotter, and Isaac Sanders. All three were on the squad last year and got rings from last year's team. Brandon and Corbin were both part-time starters. I think Corbin averaged 7, and I think Brandon averaged 5. Very big parts. Isaac didn't play that much last year, but he's really coming along development-wise. For those who don't know, maybe people are watching this from years ago, he reminds me of a taller Eric McGee.
That's exactly what I was thinking, right.
Yeah, works hard like that. Got a little more bounce than Eric. Eric just had a motor.
Yeah,
when we're
he
trying
worked hard,
trying to get that motor for Isaac, and for the most part, he's doing it. He's going to be a great player. Brandon Trotter's a bouncy 6'6", 6'7", 4-man. We're playing him a little bit more at the wing this year. Mm-hmm. Corbin's a straight-up shooter. Has improved his defense and his ball handling. We'll look for a big year out of those guys.
Okay. And then all the new guys.
Maybe
you want to break them up and talk about the guys that redshirted last year that were in the program. They got to spend a lot of time with you guys already.
Dominic Shaw, Terrell Thompson. He goes by Sam, actually.
Sure, why not?
He goes by Rel. He doesn't want to be called Sam. So Rel Thompson, Dominic Shaw, and Mike Donaldson were all here last year as redshirts. Dom Shaw is a transfer from Prairie View A&M. Rel Thompson from Austin P and Mike Donaldson from South Carolina State all have Division I experience. All were here last year, so they know what we're doing. You don't have to spend too much time with teaching them discipline or anything like that. They know exactly what I want, on and off the court, and they're all phenomenal players. Rel will start in the backcourt, Dom Shaw will be kind of our three-man wing three, and Mike Donaldson will be a 3-4-5. We're going to play 2 point guards to start the season. Akeem Santil, transfer from Iona, will start as dual point guards with Rel Thompson. Okay. Traditionally here we've done that a lot. We did it the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, starting all the way back with James Devlin and Blake Walker to last year's version of Kevin and Lionel Ellison. So Akeem's a great player too. Rounding out our starting lineup to start the season will be J.C. Washington, a transfer from North Carolina Charlotte. Very strong motor, plays with an edge that I kind of like. Yeah. It's not a dirty, it's a filthy. And he's got some rawness to him. He's out of Houston, Texas originally. That'll be our starting five, and then we'll have Corbin, Brandon Trotter coming off the bench, followed by a host of others. Javante Carlton is a junior college young man out of Diablo Valley. He's a 6'4", 190 athlete, can shoot it. I mentioned Isaac. We've got 2 other post players. Marquise Todd, 6'9" center out of Chicago, transfer from William Carey. Eddie Daly is a 6'8" freshman from DeWitt, Michigan. Reminds me of a young Keith Steffick. Can shoot it, kind of bouncy. Just kind of young right now. Yeah. At semester, we should get D'Angelo Allen eligible. He's a transfer from Missouri. We're going to use him in a lot of ways. He's a special player. Kind of a mix between Brandon Beasley and Torrin Jones, and that's a heck of a mix. Yeah, he can play. Darius Wheeler be a backup guard. Last year he was on our JV team. He's been moved up. Torrance Barnes is another returner that were moved up from the JV team out of let me see here. I lost my train of thought. Out of Chicago as well. Got a host of other young men. Loudon Rockweiler is a freshman from Decorah, Iowa. And then we've got a handful of other young men that we're going to redshirt and keep on our varsity. Taylor Hunter, Jesse Trussler, Aiden Green, Antonio Foster, Malik Thomas, Mario Manuel. We've got a large amount of guys, 21 players in practice. We're hoping also to get an X Factor around Thanksgiving. He wears number 7 on the football team, Tyler Wood. We're hoping that we can get him healthy after football. Hopefully they have a long run through the playoffs, and he doesn't get to us until January. Right. But hopefully when we do get him, he's healthy because we like his toughness and shooting ability. He'll fit in really well with these guys.
Yeah, he's a Newton guy, so nothing wrong with that, right?
Right. They're all good looking.
Except for the guy sitting next to me, but
sure.
We can talk about him. Tons of names, lots of talent out there, Coach, and I'm sure a lot of those guys are not just set as, well, you're just a post player and you're just a whatever. I know you guys have that
wide open style
to try a little bit of everything. On the early parts of the season, as you're trying to get a lot of these guys accustomed to your style and playing together and maybe not being the top dog in your program, how have the first week's been going?
Well, that's the biggest challenge, is getting all these players to mesh, share the basketball, get along, learn to play together, and know that, it's not about one person, or hopefully they didn't come here to be the man. They came from a higher level, transferring to a lower level, NAI 1 from opposed from NCAA 1, and get them to understand that we are going to play as a team. We're going to let you flourish as an individual and use your skills to help the team. And that's always the biggest challenge this time of year for me and my staff, is getting this group to mesh together and understand it's about one team, one goal. And I think, our track record lately speaks for itself, and we can kind of teach it as, this happened last year, this is what, happened 2 years ago, and use it to our advantage. Right. And it's going very well. I like this group a lot. They're fun to be around. Energetic, enthusiastic. Anytime you have Brandon Trotter around, it's never a dull moment. Okay, right. But some of the new guys are characters as well, and working hard. Working very hard. Doing well academically so far as well, and no problems so far. Scrimmaged Southeastern Burlington last week. We were successful. We were a little sloppy. That's to be expected. We only had 10 practices, and we go to Indian Hills next week on Tuesday,
Probably the best game of the whole year in the Iowa. To me, outside of Iowa State, that game should be marked by a lot of people. It's like that should be a really awesome game to go to.
There's a lot of athletes on the floor, a lot of Division I talent, a lot of points are scored. Hank Plona, their head coach, is very good friends of our staff. Josh Sash has now moved on, but he was there the last few years and had a good relationship with him. And we're looking forward to that. It's always fun. And then get it rolling. 2 days later, we leave for Kentucky. Play in the Pikeville Classic, and then on Sunday we're going to go up into Ohio and play Shawnee State and a 3-game, 4-day trip.
Right. Rolling right into that, you guys have what might not look as the most daunting non-conference. There's a reason for it.
It's hard to schedule. It really is. Hardly anybody will play us. We reached out to so many different schools, so many different levels. I mean, we're not ducking anybody. It's just we're having a hard time filling the schedule, especially when we went back to 11 non-conference games. Last year we only had 4.
Yeah, it's easy.
And then next year it'll be back to only having 6, so that's a little bit easier. But scheduling 11 non-conference games with the success we've had recently, there's just not a lot of teams that are willing to come to here to play us. So we have to spend a little bit of guarantee money and
you can't do
the schedule.
Like you said, you can't do a home and away because next year it switches. And it's really hard to say. Well, I can guarantee that we're going to come back.
That's another key factor. And the way we look at it, if we're going to spend $2,000-$3,000 to travel all the way to Arizona or Florida, why not just give somebody a smaller amount of that to come here and we're not traveling. We're spending less money to get a home game. And there's a lot to it. I don't want to cry in anybody's soup.
I don't think anybody's going to listen anyhow. But again, you guys have that non-conference schedule, which one way or another is going to prepare you for the Heart of America Athletic Conference, which is always going to be a tough game.
Crazy daunting.
Game in, game out. It's going to be a workout for your guys. So just talk about that a little bit. I know it's hard to say what everybody's going to bring in, but you've probably seen some of those preseason lists and figured out, this team might be better, this team might not be as good, etc. But where does William Penn figure in the mix?
Quite honestly, I think they're all good. I mean, you look at last year, Avila was considered one of the lower level teams. Maybe 1 or 2, 3 wins in the league, and we go down there, we're behind at halftime. We were the 4th ranked team in the nation at the time. We ended up finishing, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd or whatever, but we're down to Avila. We could lose to anybody, especially on the road. You could lose to anybody any given night. Is tough. I don't like to single out individual programs, but I will say that I think Graceland's going to be great. They return a lot, and they got a great recruiting class. Mid-Am, always has good players and a great coach. Grandview brings back some great athletes as well. I like Mo Valley's team. I always like Central Methodist with Coach Sherman. They're always tough. There's Baker, Benedict. It's on and on.
There's really not anybody.
You got 3 Hall of Fame coaches, and then the young coaches in this league are great as well.
They're hungry.
Moody, Coach Moody, all those guys. It's just night after night after night. You can't take a night off, and you can get smoked actually any given night. So
definitely. Obviously, there's a lot of keys to making this another great season. But what are just a couple things that have to happen for you guys to reach your goals?
Chemistry meshing, like we mentioned before, getting everybody to share the basketball, play together, learn each other's styles, and be selfless. Staying healthy, doing the right things, and becoming a team that I know we can be, because I know the athleticism's there. Overcoming their head coach, maybe, I don't know. That's what they've been doing the last few years. So, but no, it's going to be a blast. We're preseason ranked number 1 by Street and Smith Magazine, Sporting News, Basketball Times. The actual NAI official rankings don't come out for, you would know better than me.
I feel like it's a couple weeks.
We expect to be, high up there. I don't know if it'll be officially number 1. It was nice to be number 1 in the magazine. I don't really shy away from that. I've taken the other approach of, a lot of coaches coach their whole lives, 30 years, and not be ranked number 1. This will be our 2nd time, and we embrace it because, why not? wouldn't you
That's
rather
what you play
wouldn't
for,
you
right?
rather be number 1 than number 20?
Yeah.
I mean, people say, "Oh no, that's a curse," whatever. I don't see it that way. I would
Again,
rather be number
if you
1.
never have it happen,
Yeah.
you're gonna end your career saying, "Oh man, just one time that would have happened. How cool that would have been."
And yeah, quite honestly, the kids like it and
Yeah.
they enjoy it, and I can kind of hold it over them like you're not practicing like the number
Right,
1 team
there you
because
go.
I've seen the number 1 team before, you
Right,
know,
right.
so I know what it looks like, and you know, it's fun. It's
Yeah.
the buzz around this team and our program right now is fun. We try not to make it be pressure. We try to embrace it,
Yeah.
and I think we're doing a pretty good job with that.
Definitely. All right, Coach. Well, you guys start next week, and then it's just going to go bang, 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 and before you know it, it's going to be February and March, and hopefully a deep run in those tournaments. But best of luck, and we'll keep posted everything on CXPenathletics.com. So,
All right, thank you.
Thanks.